Settlements live within sight of each other. Borders run through the area. Obvious borders that are unmistakable. Hidden borders that nevertheless seal off. Life takes place separately from each other. War has left wounds.
تسألني عن شيء حتى
How would it be if there could be a place that could heal wounds and build bridges? Bridges between cultures, bridges for exchange, bridges for hospitality, bridges for trade. The Jordan Valley stretches along the eastern side of Israel. Through it runs the Jordan River, which is a breeding ground and home for many animals, nature, and people. The river also forms a natural border with the neighboring country, Jordan. From the north of Israel to the south runs the Route 90. It acts as an important traffic axis for the economy and tourism in the valley. The Jordan Valley consists of various administrative zones. Israel controls the area immediately bordering Jordan and part of the West Bank. The Palestinians are in control of the other part. As a result, the Jordan Valley has a variety of different communities and housing typologies. Religion and the history of the different communities can often create tensions and conflicts. We looked at an area above the Dead Sea where you can meet many different communities. Here, Palestinians, Israelis, and Jordanians live not far from each other. Visible but also invisible borders separate them. Jericho, a Palestinian city, the oldest city on earth, lays there in the middle of the valley. Jericho is also where we started with our journey. Our first film about hospitality, roots, and community was made there.
Jericho is different, yes, of course. Look, if you want to be happy, you want to stay in Jericho. Yes,
Okay.
the same house.
And your parents as well in the same house?
Yes. See? Like that. But for me, I preferring to be here because I'm originally from here. I love my country. I love my friend here because here in Arabic people, sojourners, and very friendly, so kind. We love to stay together.
Yeah.
You know, we don't like someone staying in Cyprus, someone stay in Jericho.
Yeah.
You know.
Jericho's inhabitants live to a large extent from agriculture. In fact, 38% of their economy is made of agriculture. This is due to the excellent climatic conditions there. Thereby, Palestinian settlements are characterized by traditional and conventional agriculture. On the other hand, on the Israeli side, high-tech agriculture is being practiced. Water for this region is mainly being controlled by the Israelis, which often makes it difficult to obtain sufficient access for the others. Another difficulty Palestinian farmers faced in the past and are facing today is a lack of access to different markets due to the current conflict's nature. All these different issues increase the potential for conflict and further builds up the borders.
You see, it was 9 boats. Now all the water come from Sib Galley. They give us only 2%, and the rest go for them. They stole it. Is our government? They stole it. It's the reason why the water very slow.
Agriculture is also important for the economy of other communities in the area. The nearby Elambai Bridge is of great importance for residents and the economy itself. It is an important trade route and hub for all three territories. When looking at the kind of settlements in the area, there are a lot of differences. Some have been around for ages, some are rather new. The populations of riparian states have multiplied over the past 70 years. Jordan, for example, grew from around 1 million residents to more than 10 million, while Israelis and Palestinians alike saw their populations skyrocket. The area between the Route 90 and the Jordan River is scarcely populated. The reason for this lies in the past, which still has a firm grip on the present. During and after the Six-Day War, a military zone was established not far from the Jordan River border, and the land was contaminated with landmines.
So far, the big powers have stood back in a state of virtual neutrality, but the same big powers have been providing Israel and the Arab countries with all the machinery of war. On that score alone, they must accept part of the responsibility for the conflict.
This contaminated land surrounds areas that have great significance for Christians and Jews alike. Jesus' traditional baptism site has attracted pilgrims throughout history. The area is located besides Jordan, Israel, and Palestine. In this area, there are a lot of monasteries, as well as additional churches and chapels at the site, 10 kilometers east of Jericho. Nearly all of the major branches of Christianity from around the world have a building close to the Qasr el-Yahud, which is located at the Jordan River. In the Middle Ages, the monastery was not only obliged to be a spiritual, religious base of faith. The monastery was, to a much greater extent, part of a secular society. The monastery looked after the sick, gave accommodation to travelers, lent money like a bank today, provided security for old age, ran crafts, agriculture, and trade. In 1968, after the Six-Day War, Israel blocked access to the churches and enfolded the site in the closed military zone along the border with Jordan. They were fearing terrorists could use the churches as a staging ground for attacks on Israeli settlements. The Jordan River is only a few meters wide at that point and easily crossable on foot. For decades, the Bullet Pocket Monastery stood shuttered, yellow signs warning of landmines. For the first time, and after over 50 years, the land of the monastery site is free of landmines. Yet, the area has great opportunities and possibilities now that it's accessible again. Pilgrims and tourists are coming back and slowly reviving the site. But still, there are a lot of empty and unused spaces. We located an unused place next to the Qasr el-Yahud that could be rethought and used as a starting point. The opportunity arises to create a new link between different faiths and origins. A link between Palestine and Israel, Islam and Judaism, agriculture and industry. A place where visitors can be accommodated and communities can meet and trade. Not just physical goods, but also intercultural exchange. The monastery was an important center of development in the Middle Ages. Could it regain that position in the future?